Alright, so the film that I'm going to be discussing for my first journal is The Phantom Menace, which is episode 1 of Star Wars. So in The Phantom Menace, we get to start off by getting introduced to some of the major parts of the Star Wars universe, such as Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi in the first couple minutes of the film. We get to see them start negotiating with some of the higher ups inside of what becomes the Empire. And you can see how the droid army is starting to infiltrate into some parts of the galaxy faster than what the Jedi Order expected. You get to see how the droid army basically goes onto Coruscant and takes over the castle there and takes over the Republic that is currently standing there, which causes the group that we are currently with, which consists of Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi, to go to Tatooine. This is where kind of like the first big plot armor starts, where you get to meet Anakin as a youngling, and you get to see him kind of go through the steps of learning that he is force sensitive. With this, you kind of see the theme of how Jesus is kind of like, what in Star Wars is called the chosen one, or the one who's gonna, bring balance to the Force, as, Jesus was kind of the one to, bring balance to, sin and transgressions, and kind of, basically be what Anakin is in the Star Wars universe. At least for the first film. After that, you kind of learn more and more about the Star Wars Order and the Force and how the Force works, and you get to see how the Force kind of acts, how the Holy Spirit acts, in, showing you the weak side of yourself, and helping you learn from learn morals, and learn how to kind of go through your life in a good way, or pursuing good. Later on, you get to meet Darth Maul, who is the Sith Lord at the time, who is kind of like the first introduction of the dark side, which I presume Darth Maul to be kind of like a Satan-like character. This is because of the way that he's dressed and the way that he kind of acts, and also the music and camera shots behind the way that Maul is presented. A lot of the times when Maul is presented, you get this big, loud, bassy, like, boom, to instill fear in the listener. Just how kind of the devil is brought up in the Bible as, something to not necessarily fear, but something to be afraid of, if that makes sense. I think that the way that the camera shots are taken in the ending scene and the ending fight of Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan versing off against Darth Maul, I think it's one of the greatest choreographed fights in Star Wars, and it's one of my personal favorites, as I am an enjoyer of Maul. I love Maul as a character, and I think he has some of the depth that you get to see later on, not only in the main movies, but also in side shows like Star Wars Rebels, Clone Wars, and also Bad Batch, where you get to see Maul kind of progress from what he is into what he becomes. I think some of the major plot elements is obviously learning about Obi-Wan, learning about Anakin, learning about the Force and the dark side, and you get your first glimpse into the Star Wars universe, and get to meet some of the main characters that follow the whole story. So